Hello everyone, I'm back. Marbles is back with another episode of Every Night a Trip. This is an episode featuring a dream, a voice recording, and an analysis. So if you're not interested in the analysis, you don't have to listen to the end of this. No big deal. Since Spooktober is coming up soon, like next week, I'm gonna try to feature some of my spookier, darker dreams throughout the month. And by the way, thanks to my coworker Jackie for mentioning this. It's a good idea, and why not start a little bit early with today's episode? I do often have creepy dreams, or dreams with dark vibes in them. I'm used to it, mostly. There's been a lot of negative things in my life, so it doesn't surprise me that my dreams are often haunting and daunting. It is what it is. This dream I had a while back, maybe like a month or so ago. The dream itself is very short, so I'm sorry to my cousin Chucky. I know you said you wish I had longer ones, but this is all I have for now. I'll do a longer one eventually. Okay, I'm in my bedroom. It turns into a forest. I hear a little girl screaming. My husband checks the neighbor's app, which is an app that shows you what's going on in your area. So he checks that to see if anyone posted about that scream, if anyone else had heard it. And people did post something about it. They said it was just a chicken that sounded like he was screaming. Our cats randomly show up. They're sitting still and they're just staring into the woods. Their eyes are locked onto something, and I follow their gaze, and I notice that they're staring at a little man with pigtails. He's what's doing the screaming. He is very weird looking. He has a small, stout body, almost like a sack of potatoes. He has short, thin legs and long, lanky arms. The pigtails stood out, and so did his eyes, but what stood out most was that he was in black and white. Very different to the lush green forest behind them. The bedroom goes back to being just a bedroom. The cats are gone, and Michael and I were just sleeping. I see us sleeping in our bed, but I also see Mike's body floating above him, like if I was witnessing his out-of-body experience. And it was creepy because it wasn't just floating right above him, it was floating with his face looking down right at me. Then I look towards the bathroom door. It's closed, but then I can see a black shadow standing right in front of the door, just staring at us. Then a man in an orange polo shirt walks towards us, but it's like he doesn't even see us. He just passes through and he walks right on through the wall. And that's it. See, very short. And here's a sound recording for this.
Our patron kept looking at, and there was a little short man with pigtails, and he was coming towards us, and I was scared.
Notice how I talk like I was explaining the dream after it already had happened and not while it was happening. So that wasn't sleep talk. I woke up at some point throughout the night to tell Michael about what I had just dreamt, and that's what the recording was. I was more so asleep than I was awake, so when I did fully wake up after my alarms went off, I wasn't sure if I had talked to Michael in real life or just dreamt that I had. But then I saw that recording and realized that I had spoken to him. And Michael did say that he remembered me saying something about a little man in the wood with pigtails, and that all he could imagine was Danny DeVito. So, just imagine that. Danny DeVito screaming like a little girl, and people blaming it on a chicken. Okay, y'all tune out for this if y'all aren't interested in what the symbols of last night's trip might possibly mean. I'll go in order of their appearance. And there's so much out there on dream symbolism, and a lot of them vary on what the symbols represent. I'm just going really with the first ones that I read about, which if you're doing real research on important things, don't use the first links you find. Do your full research, multiple sources. But yeah, I'll put the links of the websites and the names of the books that I use in the description below. Okay, so the first symbol in the dream was the forest. Dream Bible says that if you dream of a forest, something in your life or a problem in your life is leaving you confused or unsure. You feel a loss of security and a lack of control in your life. On the flip side of that, a forest can symbolize life and rejuvenation, or the unknown and subconscious, according to dream moods. It's saying that you need to explore your subconscious and look into yourself to find your potential and instinctual nature. Now, how can I relate what they say those symbols mean to my dream and my life? Well, I do often get confused in the mornings when I wake up. Like this dream, I wasn't sure if I had already talked about it or not. I just have a lot of false awakenings anyways, so I get confused. And then my dreams are just so vivid, they feel so real, so I get confused about that too. Like the other night I stayed at my brother's house and I slept alone. I thought my mom came into the room at one point and laid down next to me because she said that my dad was snoring too loud and she couldn't sleep. And I do remember waking up and reaching over to see if she was there. She wasn't there, and she never even went in that room. So I was confused. There's just been so many incidents like that recently. It does feel like I have no control over my sleep. I wish I could go a full night without sleep talking or waking up randomly or thinking I already woke up. As to the other meaning of the forest, the more positive one about life and rejuvenation and exploration of the subconscious, I can see that too. I've lost a lot of weight recently, my body feels good, I have more energy, I'm more awake, and I actually want to do things, not just sleep all day. So I can see that. Also, the fact that I'm doing this about my dream, to explore my subconscious, I guess. Okay, the next symbol. The scream. The scream coming from the short man. To hear a scream in your dream symbolizes the fears and anxieties in your life and your reluctance of admitting to them. It can also warn that a friend or a family member is in need of your help. There is a personal situation which I don't want to speak about on here, but it does cause me great fear and anxiety. It's not that I don't want to admit to those feelings, but rather I just don't want to think about them. As to someone needing my help, please speak up. I care a lot when it comes to friends and family, so if there's ever anything I can do, I will do my best to help. And if this was foretelling of my coworker Jackie asking about why her Google kept crashing, then whoa. I'm just glad I could fix it for you. For the symbolism of the man in pigtails, I'll talk about what dreaming about black and white means and what it means to dream of a misshapen man. To dream about something in black and white means that you need to be more objective, that you need to get other people's views and opinions and see both sides of a situation. Don't let your personal feelings and opinions cloud things. It also represents depression and sadness and feeling like you have a boring life. I can see why that would mean that. A lack of color is depressing, although I do like black. But imagine life without red, which is my favorite color. Or flowers just being all in black and white. That's depressing. I already mentioned that there's been a lot of negative things in my life, so I have struggled with deep sadness multiple times before. As for a boring life, I think many people would consider my life boring, but my life is my life and I'm the only one living it. I don't see it as boring. It's very chill and relaxing. I have everything I could ever ask for, and I'm grateful for everything that I'm able to do. I'm sure many people would think my job is boring too, but for me it's relaxing and I'm able to listen to whatever I want to, and like I get paid for it too. Anyways, the only reason I would consider my life boring is because I'm not constantly at concerts. But let's be real about that. I can't be at concerts 24/7 unless it's Kings of Leon, which I'm going to see them. So excited. So anyway, the meaning of the misshapen man. I looked into that because it just stood out so much. According to Gustavus, however you pronounce his name, a misshapen man represents disappointments with the people around me and troubles with a so-called friend. And that goes back to the meaning of the forest, huh? So again, who needs my help? Hit me up. As for disappointments with the people around me, yeah. I feel disappointed in a lot of people. People at work, so-called friends and family. I feel like a lot of people care way too much about themselves, which isn't always a bad thing to put yourself first, but it's good to check on others and to make them feel like you care about them and think about them and that they matter. I've had a lot of medical issues going on this year, and I felt really lonely and disappointed because not a lot of people reached out to me to see how I was doing. People that I expected to reach out to me because of their roles in my life, people that I would immediately reach out to if they were in my place. I understand that they have their own lives and their own problems to deal with, but it's so easy to message someone nowadays just saying something like, "Hey, I heard you're going through this. I'm thinking about you." Even something small like that. It did make me sad that I was the one that had to reach out to other people and tell them, "Hey, I'm going through this and this. Keep me in your thoughts, please." Like if I was begging to be thought of. I had someone I hadn't seen in almost 10 years, an old coworker. She was asking me how I was doing, which that surprised me. 10 years is a long time. And I just felt such a warmth inside of me because of her concern. Moving on to the next symbol, sleeping. I often dream about seeing myself sleep or seeing other people sleep. Like in the episode of Monkey Man and Ibuprofen, I saw my mom sleeping. And this one, Michael. There's a simple explanation for this according to David C. Lohff's The Dream Dictionary. He says that we dream of sleeping because we are sleeping. That's a state we're in, so that's what we dream of. Simple. Mr. Lewis, he says that sleep symbolizes a peaceful life and being at ease or not fully being aware of the conditions around you. That you need to wake up to a certain situation in your life. And then Dream Bible says that you might be dreaming of sleeping because you're ignoring a situation in your life or you don't want to be fully involved in it, which is kind of similar to what Lewis is saying about not being aware of what's going on around you. The positive side being a peaceful life and the negative being ignorance and turning a blind eye to a situation. I have felt such a peace in my life recently, but I know that a lot of that has to do with me ignoring a lot of stuff and pushing it to the back of my mind. I don't want to make a situation worse than it already is, so let me not even think about it at all and act like it didn't happen. And even procrastination. I procrastinate a lot. I feel like if I put something off, it won't be there at the moment. I don't have to worry about it. I'm temporarily at ease until I can't procrastinate any longer. Okay, 2 more symbols to go. To dream of a dark shape represents a great mental distress or wrong in your life. This is from Gustavus's book. This year has definitely been tough on my mental health, and that's all I gotta say about that. Okay, the last one, the color of the polo shirt that the random man was wearing. That really stood out to me because in the dream it was dark, it was a dark room, but I could make out the color orange so clearly. The color orange symbolizes toxic influences or an overwhelming situation and also adventure and change. This can be a change you make or something out of your control, a forced change. It's not too different from the negative connotations of the forest and sleeping, of lacking control over a situation and not wanting to be involved in something. The brighter side of the color orange is that it can represent hope, friendliness, and feeling alive. Dream Bible says that now is the time to look into new hobbies. That interpretation goes hand in hand with the positive connotation of the forest, talking about life and rejuvenation and exploring your potential. I guess I'm considering this a new hobby. I've also really enjoyed working on puzzle books. Lame, I know, but it keeps my mind busy. As for feeling alive, I feel it. I already said I lost weight, my body feels good, and even Jackie, my coworker, she's just like in awe these years that we've worked together, you seem different. Like, there's more spirit in you. I've never seen you be so bright, I guess. What else? That's it. To quickly summarize everything, basically my dreams are telling me two different things. Just like the colors black and white, there are stark contrasts with the things going on in my life. And I guess it does feel like it. Like I'm suppressing a lot of negative emotions and situations and just trying to focus on the positive. Yeah, okay. If you're still here, thank you so much. You made it. I hope that wasn't too boring. I think I might just stick to interpretations once a month. We'll see. Sometimes dreams don't have meanings really. Sometimes my brain just picks up things randomly throughout the day, like the SpongeBob popsicle that I spoke about in the last episode, or the fact that I'm dreaming more about cats now, simply because I own cats now. If I see certain people that day, I might dream about them. Okay, well thank you so much guys for listening. Thanks to my cousin Gilbert and Junior for saying that I'm a hit sensation in their household. Not really, but they're not surprised that this is something I'm doing. And thank you again, Jackie, for inspiring me to do this. I might feature you in the next episode where I sleep talk about work. It's not spooky, but I can make it like a double feature again, with a spooky one and a non-spooky one. We'll see. I don't know if I'll record this week. I mentioned that I'm going to be going to the Kings of Leon concert, and of course I need a day after to recuperate. I'm so excited, I can't wait. If you haven't checked out their latest album, definitely do so. I can't wait to be out there singing my heart out, having fun. Okay guys, it's supposed to be rainy later this week, so y'all be safe. Bye bye. Oh, and if you're listening to this before bedtime, sweet dreams.